Say it ain't so. Say it ain't so. I got a pair of freaking Vans. Man, I never thought I would get a pair of Vans. That story, my story, and the Vans story coming up next. Trust and believe. You are tuned into episode 134 of the Nomad Cast, where story time is a pastime. I'm your host, Mr. Anderson, coming through here on the Thursday. Hey, got a great show lined up today. As you can see in the thumbnail, we're going to talk about Vans. What? I can't believe I bought a pair of Vans. Never thought I would do that. So I'm going to tell not only the Vans story, just a little bit of the history. I'm going to tell my story as well. Let's go ahead and dive in and not waste any time talking about Vans. Oh, Lord, never thought I would do it. History of Vans. The company was founded by two brothers, Paul and Jim Van Doren, in 1966, and they opened in Anaheim, California, as the Van Doren Rubber Company. They had two partners along with them, Gordon Lee and Serge Delia. The goal was to create an improved skate shoe. The Old Skool is Vans' first skate shoe that incorporated leather panels for increased durability. What started as a random doodle by Paul Van Doren was originally referred to as the Jazz Strike. Skateboarders loved the rugged makeup and sticky sole. In 1976, the Off the Wall logo made its debut. Off the Wall was slang for doing empty tricks in empty pools. Vans has a unique history, and I will tell you, I don't really have a history with them. I'm going to tell that in nostalgic moments. But when I look at this shoe, and one thing I've always admired about Vans is that rubber sole. And I have pictures to kind of support what I'm talking about, as you can see here with this rubber sole. Look at it, it's almost like waffle-like. When you look at this sole, to me, growing up, was never really a fan of these shoes, but when you look at the shoe, I respected the creativity. I respected the craftsmanship of this shoe. This is a solid shoe, solid base for all those skateboarders that's out there. That's who it was made for. Pure rubber. This thick sole right here. Look at that. Thick freaking sole. Nice suede velvet toe box right here. And you talking about this jazz stripe that Mr. Van Doren, he was just doodling around. And this is called the Jazz Stripe. I didn't know this until I started doing research on this actual shoe. Because a lot of these shoes I do on sneaker stories, I've either worn or I know, I have an intimate knowledge, an intimate history of the shoe. No history with Vans. This is my very first pair of Vans. The only history I have with Vans is I bought them some for my son, my wife has some, and my daughter has some. I was the only person in the house that didn't have a pair of Vans. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I got a pair of Vans. And my wife and daughter and son have been challenging me. Do a gym shoe story on Vans. Well, here's your gym shoe story on the Vans. But I tell you, it's it's definitely a creative shoe. Look at that. We talked about the Off the Wall that was originated in 1976. Here's the tag here, Off the Wall. Now, if you look real close, I know a lot of times there's a logo within the logo, but look at that. Off the Wall, and what do you see? The daggone skateboard up under it. This brand here has always remained true to itself. It has been as good as what it's good at. And a lot of times you see these companies, the pizza company, they want to make French fries, they want to make fish. Vans has said, hey, skateboarding is our bread and butter. Skateboarding is our meal ticket. We will not stray away from skateboarding. You see these guys making basketball shoes and all these other, trying to, impact and what you call it, not impact, but penetrate some of these other genres as it relates to shoe styles and shoe silhouettes. They stay true to who they are. So I'll definitely respect Vans for that. These guys are all about skateboarding. These guys are all about skateboarding. This is what they do. Now look at this. Again, that jazz stripe, that sole, I'm telling you, this solid rubber sole. Think about those guys in California. You can see here in some of these pictures. These guys are skateboarding, hitting their side against that concrete wall. Definitely in some pain. So, hey, create a shoe that can insulate the foot and withstand some of those markings, can withstand some of those concrete barriers. I'm telling you, man, this is a great looking shoe. I haven't worn this shoe yet. I've had it for probably about a month, maybe a month and a half. I haven't worn a shoe, but I'm telling you, this is a nice looking freaking shoe. It looks very comfortable. Now I have to ask myself, what will I wear with this pair of Vans, right? Should I wear some cargo shorts with it? Should I wear some cargo pants with it? Maybe some jeans? You probably could even go with some cargo slacks, not dress slacks, but like cargo slacks. I'm a fan of cargo pants, right? What should I wear with these Vans? I bought a Vans shirt to go with this, and I'm thinking about wearing this on one of me and Mrs. Anderson's date nights. I think I'm going to do that. I would tell you, I definitely recommend this shoe for a person that didn't even grow up wearing Vans, not a history with Vans. I would definitely recommend wearing this shoe. This is a nice freaking shoe, and it looks mad comfortable. And I always see people wearing these Vans without socks, right? The Vans, the old school Vans, right? Let's go ahead and talk about nostalgic memories. Now, my nostalgic memories growing up in Detroit, Adidas, Nike, Puma, Reebok, all these other brands. We were not in the city of Detroit. I'm not talking about the suburbs. In the city of Detroit, we were not wearing Vans. And if we saw anybody wearing Vans, they were called hippie shoes and skateboarding shoes. Now, we skateboarded in Detroit in my neighborhood, but I do not remember anybody wearing a pair of Vans. I do not. Converse, Adidas, Reebok, Puma, Nike, Jordan, all these other brands. I do not remember anybody that grew up in my neighborhood, in my area, on the west side of Detroit wearing Vans. And I tell you, I grew up in a time where you had to wear those top tier brands. People would make fun of you and they just run up on you all day. What I like about this now, with this Vans, this allows people to be who they are. You don't even have to skateboard to love these shoes. My son loves freaking Vans. My daughter loves freaking Vans. And you know what? If you're happy with freaking Vans, I'm happy. What's the old saying? If you like it, I love it. And daggone it, I got me a pair of Vans, and trust and believe, that's just not a tagline. Trust and believe, I will wear a pair of Vans. I will wear these Vans sometime before this year is up. All right, so I got about 3 or 4 months until the year is up. But again, a nostalgic shoe, off the wall, rubber sole, waffle bottom. This thing is old school as old school can get. Jazz stripe going down. I know I'm repeating myself, but here, this freaking toe box. This shoe is freaking awesome. As you can see here, here's other colorways of the old school. And they got the old school and all these other different brands. Not different brands, but different silhouettes. Now, I'm not too familiar with the other silhouettes. I'm more familiar with this one here because this is the one I see all the time. But I know they got the high top ones and all these different colors and all that. This is my first pair of Vans. My first pair of Vans. And I'm definitely happy with them. I will rock them before the year 2022 ends. You can believe it because I believe it. So we all should believe it. I definitely like this shoe. My recommendation, 10 out of 10. I like it. So phenomenal shoe. Can't wait to rock it. All right, y'all. Appreciate the episode today. This is my closing remarks. I just want to talk about, have a short story about the Vans. Kind of touched on the history a little bit. Gave some nostalgic memories. Some of my recommendations, what I should wear with it, so on and so forth. But all in all, it's a beautiful shoe. It's a classic shoe. 1966. This shoe was freaking created by the Vans brothers. Outstanding. They stuck true to themselves. We're all about skateboarding, rubber soles. Hey, let's deal with the skateboarders. Let the basketball, let the Nike and the Converse and the Adidas and the Reebok worry about basketball and tennis and all these other sports. We're going to deal with the freaking skateboarders. And they stay true to themselves. This shoe is California as California can get. All right. Hey, appreciate you guys tuning in today. Thank you for supporting the Nomad Cast. If you want to continue to support by donations, you can see my PayPal address, my PayPal website down at the bottom if you want to donate to sustain this, the Nomad Cast. Definitely appreciate it. Hit me up on all my social medias, my websites, the YouTubes, and all that. Tell a family, tell a friend, tell everybody, tell the people you don't like about the Nomad Cast. Story time is a pastime. Let me say it again, where story time is a pastime. Trust and believe. The Nomad Cast, Mr. Anderson, coming through Thursday. See y'all till I see you. Trust and believe. Godspeed.